All right, we are live. I hope, and let me make sure that we are streaming live to the YouTube channel. It says we are. Let me click on here to make sure. Sure, for sure. Hold on. Let me make sure that we are live. We are live. Woo! All right, we are here for day 2 of Gainescon Film Festival. Yesterday was an amazing day. Hopefully, you guys will jump in, check out the show throughout the day. We are going to be streaming and having a great time throughout the day. If you were able to check out some of yesterday's events, we had some great conversations and interviews with some of the directors premiering their movies and shorts here at Gainescon. Like I said, we just got kicked off and getting started. I started the stream today a little bit later than the scheduled time for Gainescon kicked off at 12, but I started streaming about 45 minutes after the fact, just to get things set up to make sure everything was working all right. We'll be snagging interviews throughout the day, but make sure, like I said, that you join the YouTube channel. Again, today's episode is only going to be streamed, or this event is only being streamed on YouTube, but you can definitely subscribe. YouTube.com/John Terrell. Subscribe, hit the bell notification so that you're notified of when things go live, and new content goes up on the channel. So always want you to be a part of the community and be a part of the Color of Motion. Like I said, yesterday was a semi-long day, 4 hours stream marathon. This one may be a little bit longer. They're premiering one of the bigger movies today at 3 o'clock later this afternoon. So I'll probably be in the stream about 5 o'clock Central Time, I guess. It's probably 4 o'clock Vegas time, but 5 o'clock I'm going to be ending the stream. But want you to join me throughout the day. Like I said, we'll be having a lot of great interviews, posting some videos later on. Definitely also make sure that you join the Facebook group community, facebook.com/group/The Color of Motion. Become a part of the family. Join the community, sharing industry news, having all around great fun. Also, get plugged into the Instagram channel. Looking to grow that as well. Follow us, Instagram.com/The Color of Motion, @The Color of Motion. But like I said before, this second half of the year, I'm really looking forward to stepping up the Color of Motion show, better videos, better interviews, just really, dialing in the show and making it as best as I can make it, and I can't do that without you, the viewers, for sure. So I appreciate you always, as always, supporting the show and making the experience a great experience for me. Like I said, I'm learning a lot streaming remotely from the event because you're just looking and trying to see things in a different way, trying things that you hadn't tried before, learning things that you need to change the next time around. People are starting to kind of filter in. They started the previews down the hall in one of the theaters. Oh man, let me move over. Again, super excited to be catching more people, having some of the directors that I was able to sit down with yesterday. They're going to be joining me again today, listening to their speeches, and just having an all-around great time. Again, make sure you get plugged into the community. As I was listening to the episode yesterday, like I said, there's a lot of things moving forward that I know I'm going to need to work on as far as remote streaming, the audio. I'm looking into the next, the lounge area and the bar area. The DJ just came in. She's getting set up. Looking forward to grabbing her for an interview and really showcasing her skills. I'm going to try and walk around and show you some of the setup here. I'm going to be using my phone as a camera and the audio from the phone. So the audio from the phone may not be the best quality because I'm going to be away from my setup and my microphone and just be walking around remotely trying to capture a few things with my phone. But you will see what my phone is because I'll be using it as a camera. So with that, like I said, I want to thank you so much for joining me for this 2-day special event at Gainescon. We had a chance to connect and have him sit down yesterday. Hopefully we'll be able to get him again, have a little sit down, and you'll really connect with what's going on. How you doing? Good. So like I said, looking forward to, really, people are starting to come in for the festival. So really looking forward to grabbing as many interviews as I can, and really, making this a great time for sure. Like I said, this is a new experience for me, remote streaming. So I know I got to work on the audio. Please let me know as you're jumping in, tuning in, watching this, or checking it out, how the audio's coming through, how the video's coming through, and all of that. Like I said, I am kind of monitoring it on the YouTube channel as well, so I can kind of see a little bit of it. But you know what I always say, what happens live is live, and it's just this ever-evolving, ever-learning thing, and you just work to get better at it. And like I said, get better equipment, and get better setup, and just get all around better. So definitely looking forward to it as well, and I'm definitely looking forward to you hanging out with me throughout the day. We'll be taking intermission break, kind of halfway through it, doing a little intermission, just like I did yesterday. As always, I want this to be an interactive thing. Please comment so I can see your comments. Say, hey, where are you tuning in from? I always enjoy giving a shout out to all the viewers. And I know you'll trickle in and stop by throughout the day. This is a 4-hour plus marathon. I know some of my streams are 2 hours, or so, and I get people aren't going to sit. Very few are going to sit through 2, 3, 4 hour marathon. They may if it's like a gaming thing, but this I expect people to stop by, tune in, check it out. But again, if you do, just say hey, where you tuning in from, and hello, so I can give you the shout out that you so richly deserve. Like I said, I'm normally streaming out to my other platforms, but for this event, it was just YouTube only. So with that, let's count down and get into this episode here. What do you say? All right. We are back. Hope you like that that little special intro that I did for this Vegas event. I was able to find some Vegas footage. Hopefully, get a chance to do a little hanging out. Like I said, people are coming in. How you doing? Yeah, I like your hat. Thank you. Awesome. Hi, how you doing? People are coming in to check out the event and really check out some of the premieres. We got some great directors that are premiering their movies and their shorts and doing some speaking. Emre from Emre Orun from yesterday, if you checked out yesterday's video or broadcast, Emre sat down with us. He's an actor, martial artist, stunt person. He's got a documentary that he's premiering today. Plus, he's speaking on just stunt work, preparing for stunts in your films and all of that. So really looking forward to, hopefully he'll be sitting down again with us a little today talking about that. But if you were able to check out yesterday's event, Emre is a great guy, super excited about meeting him and him coming in and talking with us for sure. So I can't wait to see about having him come back on and sit down and talk with us. As you can see, we are here at Downtown Cinemas, Las Vegas, a great location. Also yesterday, had a chance to talk with the director of events, super nice lady. She sat down and talked about just this whole venue. Didn't realize that it was 3 floors, might be more, but at least 3. And I'm sitting here in front of the elevator, but I only thought it was 2 levels. She said, no, it's 4,000 square feet of entertainment space. Like I said, down that way are the movie theaters. back behind me here, she said it's a speakeasy place where they have events. I'm sitting right in front of the bar and the dining area downstairs. They haven't quite fleshed out a lot of stuff downstairs. Most of the stuff is second level and I guess above, but it's a beautiful location, and I'm sure as she starts to really flesh out just all the events and things that are going on here, it's going to really be even better. And I'm so glad I found it out because it's just a really nice, little spot that I realize is here in Las Vegas. So whenever I come into town, I know a great place to come and hang out for sure. Again, my name is Don Terrell. I think I forgot to say this. My name is Don Terrell. You already know you're on the YouTube channel, but I want to thank you for joining me for another great special 2-day live event of The Color of Motion down here at Gainescon Film Festival that Barry Gaines and his team puts on. Like I said, they're currently starting to premiere some of the movies and shorts and stuff. I may try and stick my head in and kind of check out. I didn't get a chance to too much yesterday because I was right here streaming, which is kind of the maybe the bad part about it. I don't get a chance to experience it quite like I would love to, but as far as checking out a lot of the stuff, I'm going to try and do that today. Again, I think I'm going to try and switch over to, I have an iPhone scene set up. Let me jump to it here. I have this scene set up where, I can use my iPhone as a camera. So you can kind of see the event and the venue. I'm going to stand up here, so in my one screen, you're not going to see me, but here down that hallway is the theaters. Like I said, right there is the bar and the dining area where the DJ is set up. Again, I'm going to try and walk around with my phone, and I won't be able to see my screen, but I know you'll be able to check out. Hey brother, how's it going? Great. Hopefully I can snag you guys for an interview, when you get a moment. I want y'all to sit down and be on the show, all right? All right? And you can see there's a couple of the other directors that have some film showing here. They just walked in, so, it's going to be a great event. Let me switch back to this here. Scene here. It's going to be a great event. Like I said, it's a lot. This event, while I love doing it, again, thank you for joining me, hanging out with me today. It's going to be kind of a long day for sure. And we're just getting started. But please, as you come on, please say hello, where you're tuning in from, so I don't feel like I'm alone. I mean, I can see how many viewers are checking out the episodes, but it's always nice when you see comments, people say hello, and I can really engage with you and give you a shout out as well. So if you are jumping on, as you jump on, please just say hello, where you're tuning in from. So like I said, I can just give you a shout out here. Like I said, hey, how you doing, brother? All right. Like I said, people are coming in to the event, and definitely as people come in, and they have time, I'm going to try and grab them, whether they're attendees or whether they're directors that are premiering and showing these long events. They can tire you out. And yesterday was a long day, but it was a great day. But as they're showing their film, I definitely want to get them on camera as well. Again, like I said, people are coming in, and we're going to try and grab as many interviews as we possibly can, and have them sit down, say, hey, why they're coming to check out the event. Have they come to check out a specific thing? How they heard about Gainescon? Man, I think I did a lot of yawning yesterday, and just, oh man, these conferences and expos can really wear you out. Like I said, I'm trying to pace myself for sure, but it's going to be a fun event. I'll probably grab another drink later on this afternoon as I get myself going here. Again, like I said, people are starting to trickle in and check out the expo. That's the good thing. Like I said yesterday, this conference is kind of in its infancy stage, so I'm super excited about that part, being a part of it as this conference grows. Hey, how's it going, brother? You want to sit down now? Okay, all right. We're going to sit down. We got our first interview of the day, and we're going to get to know this brother. Hold on, let me jump on this scene and make sure we got you out. My only request is that you really speak into the mic, and as loud as you can, because we got a lot of ambient sound going on, so I want to make sure the audio is clear and good. First off, brother, please tell me your name, why you're here at the event, and we'll dive into a little bit more about you.
Great. So my name is Mike Guillaume, and I'm here in the event for the event because I have a film that I submitted. It's called Somewhere to Be, and it's an action crime thriller. Yeah, it was a blast to shoot.
Okay, how long was the shoot? How long was the video? How long did it take you to put this together?
So it took to write the script. It took me and my co-writer Noah Morales. It took us around 2 to 3 months to shoot it. It took 2 weekends, and the editing took long because my editor was a very busy guy. Shout out to Angelo Teodoro, but very busy guy. So it was on and off.
Yeah. So okay, initially, what was it that got you hooked on directing, shooting your own stuff, really getting into this kind of genre in filmmaking?
For this film in particular, or in general?
In general.
Oh, okay. So what inspired me was The Amazing Spider-Man, the movie.
Oh, okay.
Back in 2012.
Okay.
Because I saw the movie, I was like 12 years old, and then I walked out of the theater, and I thought, I could do better.
Okay. You heard that, Marvel. He said he could do better.
Yeah. You can't beat Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. You just can't do it.
Oh, man. No, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man was the classic, and I think Tobey Maguire was kind of the, epitome of Peter Parker, I think.
I agree.
But is this genre of action kind of the thing you love the most, or are you just enjoying the whole process of filmmaking, regardless of what the medium is, whether it's a drama, whether it's a comedy, or are you kind of specifically, I'm an action, sci-fi, horror, fantasy filmmaker, and that's what I love to do.
Yeah, so I gravitate towards action, thrillers, maybe dabble in horror. Not really a horror guy, but I dabble in horror, but mostly action and thrillers. But as long as there's a good story, I could watch a romance movie, I could watch a rom-com. I don't if it's a very good story, that's all that matters to me.
Yeah.
But I tend to gravitate towards the action.
Yeah.
So,
So, I mean, this festival is all about indie filmmakers and those independent ones. What's the toughest part of, you know, almost guerrilla style filmmaking? You're doing it yourself. I know the whole process can be a bit daunting, but for you, what's kind of the toughest thing in really getting your film from concept to film festival and done and out?
The toughest part for me so far has been, money, getting the budget.
Yeah.
Getting the budget in line, not going over budget. That's what's been the challenging part. But it's every single project that I've directed or that I've worked on, like they've always been a blast to work on.
Yeah.
And but it's always the money issue.
Yeah.
But we made it happen.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know how production, a producer works when they're putting together budgets, making things stay within budget and not get out of hand and things like that. Is it hard for you to kind of balance all of those different hats that you have to wear? Because obviously, when you look at the end credits of movies, you see all the people that are involved.
All kinds of people. Yeah.
All kinds of people, from the caterer, even So is it a tough thing to kind of balance that, and really, like you said, keep an eye on the dollars that the few dollars that you do have to spend on things, and making sure that they go in the right place?
Yes, it's definitely hard because, I had a great producer. She kept me in line in terms of spending and budgeting, and making sure I didn't go over budget, and taking as many free things as I could. A whole lot of people were willing to work for free for me.
Yeah.
Which I'm very grateful for. And and then she was the one who pulled all the strings. Yeah. To make it happen. Yeah. And since I was the person funding it, I had to keep an eye on it too.
Trust me, I know the feeling.
Yeah, I had to look over a few things and be like, I don't know. But sometimes it works with the vision. Yeah. And then you just gotta spend that money. Yeah. Because it just has to happen. Yeah. It goes with the directorial vision. So.
Yeah. So as far as like locations or where you're going to shoot certain scenes and this and that, are you, obviously, again, this is an independent film and you're kind of trying to go economical, kind of that guerrilla style shooting. Yeah. What do you keep in mind when you're picking a location and a scene, or even writing out your script, because you're understanding that you're having to on budget with this. Mm-hmm. So keeping certain scenes, okay, well, I know I can't have a 3D, all these special effects and things like that. Yeah. When it comes to that, how are you kind of keeping that in mind when it comes to picking a location and then tying that so that it meshes well with your story that you're doing?
Mm-hmm. So the location that I picked for this particular film, Somewhere to Be, is because not only was it extremely convenient and cost effective, because it was free. But
That always
but
helps.
Yeah, that always helps. But it also fit the tone of the movie because the film is set. Well, half of the film is set in an abandoned school that was repurposed for a crime, a crime ring where people gamble
Yeah.
under the table. People like have underground fights.
Yeah.
Underground fights, and they make illegal bets. All kinds of stuff goes down there, drug deals and anything. It's like the hot spot
Yeah.
in the world of my film.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so it was extremely convenient to have that on hand, and
Yeah. Now, and again, because this all comes down to, like I said, this is an independent film. You're funding it, and that. I know how hard it is to kind of get people on board your kind of vision, to whether they volunteer their skill set, help out and do whatever it is. How do you go about that? Getting people to, is there a core of certain people that tend to wind up in your shows? Because I've seen some directors where they have friends and actors that just constantly show up in their movies in different ways, which that definitely helps them because they're not spending an enormous amount on big time actors because they made friends with that. Do you have a core set of actors that you've worked with before that, again, don't mind being in your projects or not getting paid an enormous amount or even helping you out for free on things?
In terms of actors, I'm very good friends with like a lot of the actors that I've made contact with that I work with too, but I don't tend to rehire them depending on the story. Like it all depends on the story.
Yeah.
Whether the actor is good for the role or not. But even though you could be an actor and you're my really good friend, maybe you just don't fit the role.
Yeah.
But I try to help out my friends as much as I can. But for the crew, I always keep a very similar crew around me.
As far as like editing and shooting, like
yeah.
DP and all of that type of
yes,
thing.
Exactly. I always keep like the same crew around me because, they're all very talented people.
Yeah.
They're all my friends. And I love working with them. It's always a blast to work with them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, as far as equipment, camera gear and things like that, what do you use for like your shooting, your camera gear? I know some people leave a lot in their budget to rent really good, high quality, red cameras and this and that, or some, hey, they'll go the guerrilla style and do an iPhone and try it type of thing.
Yeah.
Where do you kind of fall when it comes to the camera gear that you use?
Yeah, and I would like, before I answer the question, I would like to say, by the way, a lot of people tend to spend a lot on the cameras and the gear, with nice lenses, nice lights. Remember to spend on art direction, please. You got to spend on art direction because that builds the world of your film.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, for this film I used a Blackmagic, and in the film before that too I used a Blackmagic 6K Pro, and then various lenses. I think I used the film before that I shot. I used Zine lenses. But for this one, it was like a Sigma 18 to 35, and then we used the anamorphic adapter on top of it to give that anamorphic look. Yeah. And we used several different lights to like RE tungsten to LEDs. But I tend to use the same.
Yeah.
I'm a very big fan of LED lights. Even when I gaff, I always use LED lights. Yeah. And but so far I'm mostly a Sony guy. Yeah. I love the look of Sony cameras.
Yeah. Do you typically shoot all your films 6K and above?
Yes, whenever I can shoot 6K, I will go shoot for 6K, but 4K is more than enough.
More than enough.
It's more than enough.
Yeah. So obviously, getting into events like this, festivals like this, is always the best thing to get your project out there. What are some other ways that people can see your project, that you're marketing it and getting it out there?
I mean, after the festival run, I'm going to, publish it on YouTube. Make sure to shout out every festival that has accepted me, that I won in. Hopefully that I win in. And yeah, well, I hope I do win.
So
Yeah.
what's the for you? What's the end goal? I mean, some people love I just want to be an independent filmmaker.
Okay.
I'm not trying to get that. Well, I guess they would love a $10 million budget,
Yeah.
But other people, they love the freedom of what independent filmmaking does because they know, hey, I get a big budget tied to it that a studio is investing in it. That just kind of hamstrings me in my creation. Is that your end goal, or what you would love to kind of get to, or do you really enjoy staying in the kind of independent realm and controlling and writing and doing your own thing?
Yeah, so my end goal is to, make it to Hollywood, be a, big time director, without the weird stuff going on.
Well, I want to say good luck with that because I don't know. It just seems even the big time directors, it gives them their break.
Yeah.
And it gets them known. But then as they go through, they start to see the hamstrings that are being placed on them with just the dollars that are thrown at them.
Absolutely. But I do love the freedom of independent filmmaking. I love that I don't have a studio to tell me, what to do. But at the same time, of course, they're watching out for their best interests. Whether the movie's gonna make money or not, that's their bottom line.
Obviously,
yeah. But there are rare instances where the studios are in the right, and then they get in the way of the director, but it was like for the betterment of the film. But I do think most of the time that directors have a clear vision, and you just gotta let them cook.
I tell you, and it was funny because I was watching an interview with George Lucas. Obviously, he's not happy with how Disney has done Star Wars, and it's just. You have a point there. It's just, and it seems like, I don't know, to me, mainstream studios are just, obviously, like you just said, their thing is bottom line dollars. How can we make dollars? So they'll go the safe route of just rehashing or extending these movies that are just out there, as opposed to really taking a chance on some of these Art Nouveau style or just new stories that are coming out, new characters are coming out. Is that something that you look at when you see some of the movies that are coming out now? It's like, damn, they're coming out with another Star Wars or another Fast and Furious or another Shrek.
Yeah, I do think, and it's been said so many times before, but I do think there's like an originality shortage in Hollywood because, of course, the studios are always going to want to go for stuff that has worked before because it's guaranteed to make money. But now they're realizing, it's not the case because now there hasn't been any recent movie that has made a profit.
Yeah, I don't know if the Acolyte has.
Oh, my God. What? Acolyte? I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, man. But it's just like they beat it to death almost, as opposed to just letting movie whether it's a trilogy or what, sit within what it is.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, what else can we pull out of this to make some money?
Yeah,
To just, what other kind of story can we just throw at this?
Yeah.
And I would think as a creator, it's a very, as a creator, I mean, I'm not a filmmaker, but I watch a lot of films, and obviously I'm seeing just the stuff that's coming out.
Yeah.
And, through the show, I've been able to meet a lot of creators that are creating their own stuff, their own ideas, their own IPs and things like that. And it kind of, breaks my heart to see that, wow, they're going to have to go their own independent route, because it's very hard to sell something new to a studio.
Exactly. But they tend to work in streaming, but streaming has its own problems.
Yeah.
With, paying creators, because it's not like a fixed number on anything. It's hard, but I do think independent filmmaking is like very important, because that's how you get seen.
Yeah.
I think that's the marketing, and then when you make it to Hollywood, if that's your desire to make it to Hollywood, that's where you actually start, making a living, making your money. You go into the union. That's where you have like a steady income at this point. But independent filmmaking, there's not really a steady income.
It's a trade-off for sure.
It's a trade-off, yes. But independent filmmaking is where you market yourself.
Yeah.
And whoever's on your crew as well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think in this time, because I always say this time is a great time for creators, because we have all these avenues now. It's almost a level playing field as far as like, hey, I can make my own web series or make my own movie and just use my YouTube channel and build, revenue and an audience that way, and do very well. Obviously, a creator like Mr. Beast has made a killing, and he doesn't need this. I think he has been offered by big studios to buy his channel, which he has turned down.
Oh, of course.
But do you think that this time is a great time for creators, because we have all these channels? You can go to Kickstarter and Indiegogo to fund your project if you so desire to do that and really put the work in.
There's so many avenues to being a creator now. It's just the fact that what's that movie called? Spider-Man Lotus. It was like a fan film. They got so much money out of donations. Yeah. And then they were able to film something. they filmed something, but I mean they made a movie.
Yeah.
They made a movie.
Yeah.
But regardless of the controversies,
it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a lot of self-marketing. You have to be a self-motivator type of person,
of course,
to put all of that stuff together, build a team out of people that are going to help support you to really go directly to your audience. But as you can see, if you put in the work and it's a really good product, it can pay off and really, like I said, launch you into this spotlight to where other people see you, other people are constantly following your work and this and that. What is it that, despite, some of the more subject movies that have been coming out, what is it that it kind of excites you about this kind of industry and space that you're in moving forward? Like I said, we're starting to see a lot of things, especially AI, as it creeps into movie making, script writing, all these things. What kind of excites you about the future of this industry?
It's a complicated question. I'd say there's so many tools now, especially with AI, and and we have to remember that AI is a tool. It's
Yeah.
not, it's not here to replace us. It's a tool. I do think it has its uses. For example, I have thought about, shooting a music video with using AI before. I haven't done it yet. I hope I do it soon.
Yeah.
But like it can be used for a dream, for example. An example, like because your dreams are not actually really concrete. You can't really discern, a human face in a dream.
Yeah.
It's always like something's off in a dream that when you wake up, that's when you realize, oh no, it was a dream. It wasn't real. It's because there's always like something off about it. And example, if you were to use AI for a film scene,
Yeah.
and then you use it all as AI, I think it would fit the tone of a dream, for example, and capture that feeling of something's off.
Yeah.
Because there's always that uncanny valley that cannot be replicated by AI. That you can't get rid of. But yeah, there's just so many tools now as a filmmaker. The cameras are way cheaper. You don't have to buy film anymore.
No.
Which was very expensive. You don't have to buy film.
Oh,
you
man.
You can hire a crew online.
Yeah.
If you don't know that many people in person, you could go online. You go on Backstage.
Yeah.
You go on whoever, Mandy.
Yeah.
Network or something. Anything.
I agree with you. Like I said, which is why, like I said, I think it's a great time for creatives because the tools are so much more powerful and more compact. Like I said, I've seen some amazing people create movies and shorts with their iPhone and just be creative about how they're shooting. You got great editing tools and software out there that's free or readily or inexpensively available. Like I said, I use Blender for my 2D and 3D. That's free. I'm not sure what your editor uses as far as their editing. They may probably use Premiere. I love DaVinci Resolve. That's free.
Yeah, my editor uses DaVinci.
It's a great piece of software for being a free software. Obviously, they gotta pay. And like you said, you shoot in Blackmagic. That's who makes DaVinci. So they got great software. And I think it's just a great time. You got a lot of festivals like this that are really trying to promote, independent creators. Are you big on, or a big proponent of artists kind of controlling their own IP? That's, I guess, another thing that, I guess, as a creator and a writer that you kind of have to balance out. If you go to a big studio, or have an idea that they're probably going to want to own your IP and take control of it, or at the very least own a big chunk of it so that, they're making the dollars. Are you a big proponent of as much of your own IP that you can own and control? That's kind of the route that you're wanting to go.
Yes, I totally agree that creators should have at least most of their IP onto them, because like they know the material the best. That's purely why, because there are examples Disney that
you guys didn't hear that. Or Marvel.
They don't know the material that well. They not that they can't write great stories.
Yeah.
That could be the case as well. But they also sometimes they might not know a lot about the lore, and then they might make a a mistake in the world of the story. In the world building that the creator made. So it it might not work. It might take you out of the experience. So I'm very for creators owning their IPs, or at least a very good chunk.
I know another thing I'm really excited about seeing is how filmmakers have, like I said, really leveraged the creative tools like Unreal. a lot of filmmakers are starting to use Unreal to create these virtual worlds that make it easier for them in production, easier for the actors to act up against. Is that something that you've thought about and would love to explore at some point down the line?
Yes, absolutely. Because like, I was talking about the various tools that we have now earlier, and I focus on AI, but Unreal Engine is like a very great tool. Like in The Mandalorian, where
Yeah.
they used it as with the LED screen as a background. They used it in the Batman in
Yeah.
2022
Yeah.
by Matt Reeves, and it's just like a very amazing tool. It looks realistic. It won't take you out of it, and also provides backlight.
Yeah.
The fact that
Lighting, yeah.
It's very cost effective. It's realistic looking, but it's also it won't. I don't think it should replace location.
Yeah.
Because there's certain times in a script or in a story that a character has to interact with the environment.
Yeah.
And you can't really get away with that with a screen.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have to go to the location.
Yeah, I think, like to your point, there are a lot of directors that would prefer practical effects as
Yes.
opposed to CG effects or things like that. So I get that. Practical effects are always, I guess, kind of the best alternative.
Yeah.
But depending on, hey, okay, we just can't do this shot practically, and CG is the best way. Or, hey, we could do this. We don't have to use CG. We can use, models or whatever it is. Practice effects are, I think, always kind of the best thing about it. Everybody, just like I said, tuning in. We're having an amazing sit down or an amazing time here at Gainescon Film Festival. We're sitting down with director, writer, producer, again, your name?
Mike Guillaume.
Mike Guillaume. He's got a short film that is premiering here at Gainescon. Mr. Barry, I appreciate you tuning in. Yep, this is day 2 of the event. So as always, Dewan, I appreciate you stopping by and checking out the show. This is going to be a long day, guys, and I know you're going to be jumping in, jumping out, and we're going to, like I said, snag people as we can to have a sit down. We're having a sit down right now. I'd like to know kind of, you're also a writer, so what's your process for, when you start to sit down and you're looking at that blank screen and you're trying to come up with an idea and just your thoughts on, okay, I want the characters to have substance. I want this to be a great idea, but I also have to keep in mind that, again, I'm funding this myself and putting all the pieces together. What's your process for when you sit down and start to work on a project or have an idea of a project in mind?
So that's a very good question. It'll depend on the story and the type of story that I think of, because stories don't come to me in the exact same way. Sometimes I might see a funny event and then I make a whole story out of that. But typically, what I use is I write down all the bullet points of the key events that happen throughout the story. For example, we get Act 1,
Yeah.
inciting incident, midpoint, climax. Of course, there's way more than that.
Yeah.
And then I tend to use index cards as well, to map it out, and I can move them around to see which scenes fit where. Yeah, but by the time I get to the blank screen, I really don't have an issue. Now I just, envision it in my mind and, just type it out.
Yeah.
I just let it out all on the page. And then of course, you get the second draft. You fix it up.
Yeah.
You make it nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you shoot chronologically as you write? Because I know some directors, they don't shoot the movie in order. They'll shoot maybe the ending first and then this scene. Do you typically shoot chronologically, like from the start to the end, or do you, I want to shoot this scene first, or I got this actor for this period, so I need to shoot this scene type of thing? Is that how you tend to do your productions and shoots, or?
Yeah, I don't tend to shoot chronologically. I used to, when I first started out, I used to shoot chronologically. It just made sense to me. But, when you keep in mind scheduling and locations, availability, it doesn't become a possibility anymore, or, or it could become very hard. But the one thing I do like to shoot chronologically are fight scenes and action scenes.
Okay.
That's one thing where I don't think it makes sense to. In my personal opinion, I don't think it makes sense to shoot regarding an actor's schedule or something like that.
Yeah.
We're here to shoot the scene. Let's shoot it all. Like in Somewhere to Be, the fight scenes, all the fight scenes are shot chronologically.
Got you. What's been kind of the toughest, I guess, scene to shoot, whether it be getting the location or getting the actors? What's been kind of that scene that was challenging for you to get on camera?
I do think it is the beginning fight scene in the pit, because we prepared so much for the bathroom fight scene that we kind of, I wouldn't say half-assed, but a little bit half-assed.
Yeah.
The beginning fight scene in the underground arena, because at some point an actor did get punched in the face.
Yeah, I was talking to Everett. I was asking him, well, have you ever had a stunt kind of go wrong that you did? He said, yeah, one guy actually hit me, type of thing. So.
Yeah, I think he told me about that too, but he kept on going. But
yeah.
In this scenario, my actor, he stopped short because his mouth started bleeding. So.
Oh wow! wait, we want to get that on camera.
Yeah, we did get some inserts because there are some crucial shots that we had to get afterwards, where I was the stand. Director's cabin. You couldn't really see me, but, my main actor needed something to punch.
Well, in on the flip side, because that was kind of part of what Emre and I were talking about. You get those scenes that they just fit well, even though they're just a massive mistake, or it's just something that went wrong. Mm-hmm. And I was telling him about, I was watching kind of the commentary for Lord of the Rings, and there was that one scene where Aragorn and Gimli broke his toe, and it made it into the film. But he was, I guess, consummate actor, and just rolled with it, and it just fit the scene. Mm-hmm. So, have you ever had those kind of happy accidents that something went wrong, but the character, the actor just, he knew to just go through the scene, and it fit well within what you were doing?
I've had that happen so many times before. I cannot recall a specific incident, but I know that has happened so many times before.
Yeah.
I wish I remembered.
Yeah. Well, I guess as a director, you kind of hope for those moments,
happy mistakes,
those happy accident mistakes where it just makes the scene so much better. Do you consider yourself actor's director? The kind of director that really kind of gives their actors freedom to bring their own kind of thing to the character. You know, there are some directors obviously that, hey, this is the way I want it done. We're doing these takes and that. But then you have some directors that were probably actors before they were directors, so they understand the mentality of working with actors. Do you consider yourself an actor's kind of director, or you have your set way and that's the way you wanted to do it, and you know?
Yes. It'll depend on the story. The story guides me.
Yeah.
Oh, cause I've said it so many times already. It'll depend on the story.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll guide me. For example, in Summer to Be, I really did let the actors. I gave like loose guidelines, you know, but I really let them, you know, do what they felt was right in the
Yeah.
moment, and I could tell them, hey, that worked, or hey, that didn't work. You could do this instead.
Yeah.
But for example, in another short film that I made, it was a short fan film about, you know, Slender Man. It is like a psychological horror film.
Yeah.
In this one, I was really on top of the actors, telling them, okay, you have to do this exact same way. But for Someone to Be, that, you know, in Gainescon, it was very loose. I was like, you know, do what feels natural to you.
Yeah. No, I get you, and obviously there are some actors that are really great at improvisation and bringing their own kind of flavor to it. Before I let you go, I want you to tell people, you know, where they can connect with you, your social channels, maybe, like you said, some future things that you got coming up that we need to keep an eye out. But how can people find you?
All right, you can find me on Instagram at Guillaume_visuals. That's Guillaume_visuals, GUYLLAUME_ and visuals.
Awesome.
Yeah, because some people have trouble
Okay.
spelling that.
Yeah.
So I had to clarify.
How did I spell Guillaume? That's where ChatGPT or AI comes in.
That's where you can use AI.
Anything exciting coming down the pipeline that you're thinking about, working on, starting, you know, getting ready to maybe?
I think about so many things. I haven't started, you know, planning because, of course, budget, money.
That's
the biggest factor. That's what
I get you.
But, you know, I'm thinking about, you know, hopefully I can do a short Wolverine fan film.
Okay.
I've had that in my mind for a couple of years now.
Well, are you one of those ones that's excited about Deadpool and Wolverine coming out?
I am. That's one of the few MCU projects
I don't know. I was a little up in the air because hey, there isn't. I can't think of Logan without, you know,
of course.
What's the actor? Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
I can't think of anybody else playing Wolverine other than Hugh Jackman. But I was a little, I guess, you know, I was fine with Logan and how they just, you know, ended it for him like that, and it's just like, wow, okay.
Now what?
I mean, is this for money? I mean, like I said, they killed him off. They closed it in a nice loop.
Yes.
Why bring him back? But again, I kind of like the pair. I didn't like, obviously, the way Deadpool was in, you know, X-Men Origins.
Oh yeah, no one liked that.
Obviously. So I think it was interesting. I was just a little kind of, like I said, put back in the fact that, okay, wow, Logan was such a great way to close out Hugh Jackman's reign as that, you know. And then I'm kind of glad that they didn't try and bring somebody else in to pay Hugh Jackman. So I don't know. I'm excited about seeing how they do it and what comes on it, kind of out of it. But there are just some actors that you just can't picture anybody else kind of stepping into the role in it, which is a very hard thing for a new actor to come in and bring it their own.
You got big shoes to fill.
Yeah, big shoes to fill.
Yeah.
I was I was a little taken aback or a little disappointed that they got rid of Henry Cavill for Superman because I thought outside of Christopher Reeve, he was probably the only other better Superman that I really he did a good job and I liked the way he played Superman.
Yeah.
And then just decided to get rid of him. So, it's funny, like you said, people they feel a certain way about characters and story arcs and things like that, and how some directors deviate from the story or deviate from the origins type of thing. So it's always kind of a hit and miss, I know, with directors and actors kind of bringing their own flavor to an already existing IP out there.
Yeah, but this new actor, David Cornsweet, playing the new Superman. Oh, he's amazing. 'Cause he already looks like Henry Cavill.
Okay, I don't think I've seen a picture of him yet, so I'll be interested to see. I'm excited to see how what's the actor? He's playing Blade now. Mahershala Ali.
Yeah.
I'm excited because I think I can see him as Blade, and I think he will do a really great job as Blade. Obviously, it's going to depend on the script, being a good script for sure.
It's
but
already on the 7th rewrite.
That's obviously films. And all of that come down to story, and the story is where it starts with.
Of course.
And the story's only going to be, or the movie's only going to be as good as the story allows it to be, and that allows the actor that steps into it to really bring it and make it his own. But I am excited to see once they get a good story what Mahershala Ali can do with Blade, because it is hard to see anybody outside of Wesley Snipes play Blade. Well, like I said, I appreciate you so much for sitting down, stopping by.
Yeah, of course.
Make sure that you do connect with them again. Check out his stuff, and we might be able to grab you before the day ends again. After what time has it premiered?
It premiered yesterday. It was like the second to last film.
Okay. So we're looking forward to seeing more stuff from you, and definitely seeing you at more of these events for sure. Just out of curiosity, where do your budgets kind of fall? Do you tend to keep them within what range as an independent creator? Where they kind of fall?
For somewhere to be, that was around 1,500.
Okay.
But my most expensive film so far was the Slenderman film. That was around 4,000.
Okay.
4,500 something.
Yeah. And you said the majority of that comes or goes towards production or gear. What's the majority of that kind of go towards?
That went to paying actors, catering. That's important. You
They say, hey, if nothing else, feed us.
You gotta feed your crew. If you don't pay them, you gotta feed them. I'm sorry, you gotta feed them.
So for all you independent creators and filmmakers out there, hey, if you don't pay them, at the very least, you got to feed them. Exactly. For sure.
Because we're here for long hours, give us food and try to stay away from pizza. 'Cause one of my professors always said the magic wheel is not a meal.
Oh man, I guess if I was an actor, I wouldn't want to see a pizza delivery guy. show
Exactly.
up
Yeah,
a
so
pizza.
have nice catering, nice food.
Oh man. Well, you guys heard it right here. Don't skimp on the catering. Treat your actors and your crew and your team like the superstars that they are. Give them, make them feel like they, hey, if if you can't afford to pay them, you're at least gonna make sure that they're fed well and are treated well, for sure.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you, brother, stopping by, checking out and being a part of the show. Definitely may try and snag you again as you check out some of the stuff today, get your feedback on it. But super excited to see more stuff come from you and see you in Hollywood.
Oh yeah, we'll see you in Hollywood too. Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. Appreciate you, brother.
Have a good one.
You too. Guys, as you saw, like I said, we snagged our first little interview for today. We're expecting more people coming through, checking out, a lot of the shorts and stuff. Want to try. I think I'm going to try and, like I said, get up and do a little remote shooting from my phone so you can see and show you a little more of the place. Like I said, this venue is such a nice venue, and I'm so glad that I was able to, that one, Barry is having it here, and that two, I know about it now, so that whenever I do come and visit Vegas again, because I have family here, and I always love visiting. But now I know about this spot, I can come check it out and hang out, check out a movie, and get that kind of personal feel from it. Because like I said, as big as it is, it really does have this kind of lounge, close-knit kind of feel for it. It's got a great bar area, a great little eatery area, food area. They serve some great food. I saw yesterday, I may try and snag me something to eat a little later on when I take intermission. Like I said, they got like 5 or 6 theaters back that way where they show, current films, Art Nouveau style films. Obviously, they're having the film festival here. Like I said, the event coordinator yesterday told me behind here, the area is a speakeasy type thing. So they got a lot of things, and she has a lot of things planned for this venue, and really making it a go-to place. And so I'm super excited about helping to bring that, to fruition, showcasing Gainescon and what's going on here. Definitely looking forward to patronizing it myself, whenever I come into town. So again, as you jump on, please say hey. Dewan's already said hello. He stopped by yesterday. Yep, we have a day 2 today. And I'm expecting it to be a long kind of day. But we're going to close it out in style and have a great time. Like I said, we were able to connect with so many people yesterday. And I think, like I said, I want to try and walk down here. Hopefully, the signal won't go out. I think I should see and make sure that I'm on Wi-Fi, which I am. Okay. So I am going to switch to, in a little bit, my iPhone scene and see if I can kind of stroll a little way down, uh, let you check out the venue, check out the place. Again, I won't be able to watch the broadcast because I'll be away from my setup and using my phone as the camera, so I won't be able to see what's being broadcast. I'm just going to have to take uh, on face that you're seeing the things that I'm pointing at because I don't have. All right, I'm working on that setup there, as where I can, really get some equipment to see things, and maybe a remote iPad and stuff to view, the broadcast. So, like I said, for me, I'm enjoying this event because I'm really learning a lot of things on how I want future remote events to go. The gear I may need to start to look at to be able to make an even better quality event. Excuse me, I'm going to have to get some more water today. With that, like I said, please jump in. Mr. Dewan, yeah, I will. When I do get this up on the playlist, I will start going through and adding some of the links to their social channels where you can connect with some of the guests. I have been connecting or getting business cards from a lot of the independent creators and people that I've had on. Some of them that did give me cards obviously said, where you can connect with them, like Guillaume. And I'll make sure that I put those in the show notes as well once I get the actual broadcast and episodes onto the playlist. So, but for all the ones, like I said, like Aram or Emre and Deborah and some of the other ones that I did get, they had cards. I'll put their connections and social channels and websites and profile things in the description. So I will be doing that. So thank you for asking me that, Dewan, for sure. Like I said, there's so many things that I was planning to do for the show that I'm looking to do even more of. Like I said, I wanted to get some shirts. I wanted to have my own shirt. I did order my own color, a new color, because the shirt that I had was a little worn. So I had ordered a new color of motion shirt that I was going to wear. And appreciate that again, Dewan. And I wanted to have some shirts to kind of give away to some of the attendees, maybe do a giveaway, stuff like that. I wanted to have that. I also wanted to have a skirt or a banner myself of the color of motion, but wasn't able to order that in time. So that's something else I have to take in consideration at the next event, and when I remote stream, is to have just color motion gear and paraphernalia that I can give away and give out. So this is a learning experience, and I'm thankful for that because that's the only way that you get better, is you just do and then iterate from it. My whole motto for this show is, you do it and you just make it better and work on it to make it better along the way. Can't thank you enough for, again, tuning in, always being a part. I'm going to try this scene here. Let me jump over to my iPhone scene. Again, I'm going to try this. You'll have to let me know when I come back and sit down, like I said, on the scene with me, obviously, once I get up, all you're going to see is downtown cinema. I am going to switch uh, this microphone for this scene to my iPhone microphone, so I will be able to narrate and talk. It just may not be as loud as my obviously computer microphone or my guest microphone here. It's going to be using the microphone from the phone, which isn't the greatest. And that's another reason why I think I'm going to have to test out using, the lavalier mics that I got and the professional mics. I should be able to Bluetooth into the phone and get a better audio, quality. But for this, I'm just going to be talking. The music's going to be loud, so it may not be clear. Like I said, you can see the setup. My little mini, simple, simple remote setup. It's effective and it works, I think. Obviously, there's some things I need to put into place and add to it to make it a better experience. But hey, that's what growing and iterating is all about. So again, I'm gonna step out and try and see. Hopefully, like I said, the signal will keep it going. You can let me know again once I sit back down. All of that. But I do want you to see the place a lot more than, me just doing this, because again, back down that hallway is where the theaters are, and maybe we can poke our head in there and see. So hopefully that I want to walk in here and maybe see. I'm going to get the DJ to come and sit down at the table, but I want to walk in there and show you the dining area, what's going on. Leonard, can I please ask you again for a glass of water? Yeah. Hey, if you have lemonade, that would be great. If that's a big issue, water would be fine, but lemonade would be amazing. My man Leonard, who hooked me up yesterday with some water and my whole setup, he was great. He just asked me if I wanted something to drink. That's why I say the people. Let me jump back before I do that. Let me jump back to my whole solo scene while I'm talking here. But the people here are so great. Again, we got people coming into the event. Hey, how you doing? Good. Coming into the event and the location. A lot of them are coming to check out the shorts. Again, this is a fully functioning movie theater, and it's a great movie theater, and really appreciate all that they're building here. Obviously, this is a great city to do it. Again, as you're jumping on, say hello. Who you are, where you're tuning in from. I'm expecting, like I said, this is a marathon today. So you coming on and saying hey would just, it make me feel good. Let me know people are tuning in. Again, Dewan, he's been, really great. My man here, Leonard, hooks me up. I appreciate that, brother. Thank you. Hooked me up with some lemonade and taking care of me. So that's why I love this event, man. It's a great event. I should have asked him for some alcohol. I wonder if he would have hooked me up with another Long Island tea. Oh man! But now some lemonade here to wet my whistle again. I'm going to get up in a minute and kind of, like I said, use my iPhone as a camera and kind of show you a little bit more of the place It's a great venue. Uh, like I said, great movie theater, and you can. It's one of those. Like I said, you can not only eat in the dining area, you could also order and eat in the theater as well. So it's one of those eatery theaters as well. I probably shouldn't have been drinking so much uh, alcohol, or not alcohol, but just liquids because I'll be needing to go to the bathroom pretty soon. And I know I won't be able to hold it until intermission. But again, I'm super excited about showing you the place, really showing you the layout. Like I said, you probably can't see from this. Let me jump back to the iPhone scene. But you can see their photo wall there. We took some great pictures yesterday. Also, Barry got his proclamation. Some city officials came. They did a ribbon cutting. He's the 501c3 that's really helping out the city, really promoting the culture, the creative culture, the independent film area, and community. So he's doing a lot, and I'm super excited to kind of be a part of it and really help him with, what he's doing with this Gainescon festival. That's why, like I said, I'm excited about being on kind of the ground level, grassroots with him, and growing with him, because I do see this as growing into a big event. Bigger than Gainescon, or bigger than South by Southwest, as big as South by Southwest. Excuse me. As big as South by Southwest and some of the other film festivals, and really becoming one of those go-to film festivals that you definitely, hey, Deborah, how's it going? Come sit down and chat with me there. Let me jump over here. This is Deborah from yesterday. So, tell us how the experience is going at Gainescon.
This has been a lot of fun. We just had the demonstration by the stunt coordinator.
Emery, yeah.
And Casey, who did Don't Listen to the Demigod,
Yeah.
offered to fight him. We got it on video. It was great.
I hate I wasn't able to get in there and, show a little bit of that, but so glad you're able to come sit down again. Like I said, we had a great chat yesterday, and dive into a little bit more stuff. Just going to ask you to speak, and don't be afraid to project your voice, and really get loud. But definitely want to kind of dive into a little bit more about your experience on the film festival. I think you said this is your first kind of film festival?
Kind of.
Okay.
Gainescon was the first one who accepted my film.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, I'm going to fly out to Vegas for the first one.
Okay.
We've gotten into a couple others that have premiered earlier
Yeah.
now.
Okay.
But, this is my first one. I'm going to be here, and I'm having a great time and learning a lot, making a lot of good contacts.
Okay. So what's the, I guess, biggest lesson that you've taken away from the experience of, one, getting into as many festivals as you can, going out to the festival, and really connecting with so many people?
Right. I think a lot of this has just been networking and making friends. And, I've met a lot of really good people here. I'm looking forward to continuing those relationships.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I'm super looking forward to continuing our relationship. I can't thank you enough for connecting at the first place. Does this spark new ideas for projects for you, or just
I think so, but right now I'm really focused on trying to get that feature of the short film I've got
Yeah.
here made, and I'm hoping some of the people here that I met can help me out with that.
got you. And I was asking kind of my guest before you just about the whole thing of funding the project themselves. Obviously, an independent creator, a lot of the expenses come from them,
Yes.
and then coming out of their pocket to do it. Kind of, what's your thinking? One, when you're sitting down creating a story, but have to keep in mind, like, okay, this
Yeah.
is out of my budget.
Yes,
I
yes, very
can't,
much so.
do this, or location. I can't get that look, or kind of crafting your story to fit into what you're doing.
And honestly, that's one of the major reasons we set my story mostly out in the woods.
Okay.
Because I've got family that's got some old farm country that hasn't been used in a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll just set it out in the wilderness and call it good.
Hey, you gotta
Work with
use
what you
the
got.
assets with what you got and work within that, and definitely crafting a story or an idea around that definitely makes sense. And I want to ask you this because I asked, like I said, Guillaume this too. Is there a certain percentage of what money and funds that you do put into it yourself
They're-
go to, say, camera gear or pre-production or editing, or where does the funds kind of where do you trend to kind of keep the majority of the funds to make it the best project? Is it editing? Is it the gear?
Honestly, for me, the bulk of my funds went into production itself.
Okay.
And then we kind of, I don't want to say teased out post-production,
Yeah.
but kind of let it drift for a little bit while we reconsolidated funds and then
Yeah.
pushed out from there.
Yeah. So, are you also handling like the production, or do you work with a producer that kind of manages the budget and allocating the funds of, okay, we got this
It's
fund?
all me right now.
Okay.
I do have some good contacts and friends who, of course, I can hire to
Yeah.
help me. Hey, will you help me create the, above the line pre-production,
Yeah.
below the line, all
Yeah.
that fun stuff.
Yeah, for sure. When it comes to gear, because I was asking again, Guillaume just before me, if you do you try and shoot 6K, or do you try and shoot 4K? Obviously, is good enough quality,
Yes.
For film, without breaking
We
the
shot
bank.
ours 4K on
Okay.
a red.
Okay, red.
So
Okay.
like it could have gone much more.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it was like, you know what? We're just gonna get it.
Yeah. Well, like I said again, I always like asking these questions. Do you consider yourself an actor's director, and you work well with your actors, or you give them the freedom to kind of improvise or not improvise?
I
Or
do like the spontaneity because I want them to be true to the characters,
Uh-huh.
and it's never going to match up 100% what I wrote in my head. That's
Yeah.
not how it works. But
Yeah.
you find an actor who can represent that well.
Yeah.
And then you have to trust them.
Yeah.
And, of course, we'll have some side discussions. This is the moment where he makes the decision. It has to, you have to see that.
Yeah, for sure. Are there certain sites, or how do you go about sourcing your actors? Are they friends that you do, or are there sites that you use, or this
We
and that?
use Facebook
Okay.
and actorsaccess.com.
Okay. Again, I'm going to try and make sure I put this in the show notes when I get this up on the channel for sure, because I do want people to kind of, know the options that they have that are out there for sure. I know there is a film, I think it's called Stage 32. I don't know if you've heard. Yeah, Stage 32 is another great place to meet actors and directors and people within
And
the
then
industry.
if you're looking for crew,
Yeah.
I know at least in the Midwest, Crew Me Up is really popular.
Okay, screw me up. You guys heard that. Again, like I said, I'm going to go back through the video and make sure that I put as many of the information as shared to all of you as well. Deborah, like I said, this has been fun, and it's
It's great to chat with you.
yeah,
again.
it's an impromptu, always an impromptu thing. Like I said, for me, this is and I was telling them this is my first experience. One, at a film festival, and then two, just remote streaming for sure. But like you said, I've had the opportunity to meet some great people, make some great connections, for sure. I asked Guillaume as well. Are you kind of enjoying or the process of staying in this kind of independent stage, or are you one of the ones that this is kind of a stepping stone to get into mainstream kind of directing
I'll
type
be
of thing?
honest, I prefer indie, especially at the moment.
Yeah.
I have a lot more creative freedom.
Okay.
Of course, if a bigger job comes along, I'm not going to say no.
Yeah.
But I really much enjoying the creative freedom and the expression
Yeah.
that comes along with it,
Yeah.
and not the written by committee feeling that so many movies have these days.
Yeah, that was a conversation, like I said, we really dove into as far as, I think a lot of direct, and even some of the really mainstream ones, obviously they know that, hey, getting into Hollywood, that gets them out there, gives them kind of the freedom to maybe work on their own stuff, but then they realize the kind of headaches you have to deal with.
The contracts that come with it.
Yeah, the strings that come along with those dollars,
Yes.
obviously, you get. And some directors, like I said, just would much rather not deal with that. Others can handle it a little better, and use it as a stepping stone to, work on other things that they would love to work on as well. I know you're focused on kind of this short, what's getting that to feature length, but thinking a little bit further past that, are there other stories
Absolutely. I have got scripts written.
that are okay? It's stuff ready to go in the pipeline
Yep.
and get out there. So. Again, Deborah, I'm not going to keep you because I know you're really getting into everything that's going on. And I definitely want to have, I don't think we've had a chance to meet, but hey, I want to, like I said, I definitely want to interview you, what you got, why you coming to Gainescon and stuff, and get to know you. We're going to talk to Deborah again a little later on, but again, Deborah, thank you so much for coming and sitting down. Come on and sit on in here and tell.
I'm Casey.
Casey, all right. Nice to meet you, Casey. Come on, sit down.
We haven't met.
No, my name is Don. My show is called The Color of Motion. And what I really do is it's a weekly show. I interview people of color in diverse backgrounds in the industry of motion graphics, animation, visual effects, cartoons, and comics. And Barry was a guest on my show last year, and he was telling me, obviously he was an independent filmmaker, and
How did that become your subject of your podcast? Are you an animator as well?
I do, my day job is I do motion graphics and video animation. But I've always had a passion for animation, looking to create my own animated shorts and animated films, whether they're 2D and 3D. But I love film. I'm not a person. I use, obviously, camera and have ideas. But I'm not a live action I don't consider myself a live action filmmaker, although I do like shooting video, but it's more for visual effects
Right.
and the things that I do with
Have
that.
you been able to watch some of the movies going on?
I stream my show to my YouTube channel, so you can connect with me on my YouTube channel. I'm really active on LinkedIn. I stream the show live to LinkedIn as well, and
I'm
I'll.
just curious if, like, we like the Gamescom yesterday. I don't know if you got to see. Did you guys see the animated film yesterday about the astronaut?
No.
The astronaut robot. It's
Nuh-uh.
so good.
Okay. And I was asking Barry because that was my thing. I didn't know that he was able to get any animated films. I thought they were all live action. And that's why I was.
There was one yesterday.
One yesterday.
I'm trying to think if there was any other, but there was one.
Okay.
And it was really short. It was like maybe 4 or 5 minutes.
Okay. That's pretty long for.
Well, yeah, I mean, maybe a short amount.
For an animated.
It felt like a good cohesive story, but it was really cool.
Okay. Okay. Because that's what I was telling him.
Watching it.
Yeah, that's what I was telling him. I really want to encourage more because, like I said, I've had a lot of animators on my show, artists on my show that are working on their own thing. And that was something that I wanted to, help Barry, kind of get more with Gainescon, more animators creating animated stuff, submit stuff to Gainescon. So that's good to hear that there was an animated, film premiere to that at the event. But I'm definitely wanting to get more animators and grow the film festival because I was just saying, this still in the infancy stage, but I feel like it's got the potential to be just as big as South by Southwest and some of the other film festivals that are. Yeah. Yeah. Well, like I said, when you're building something, especially like conferences and things like that, it takes, unless you got a team and the dollars to really just pour into it, it takes a while to get that grassroots level type of thing, the popularity.
Similar to just making a feature film, right?
Yeah.
Haven't made one yet.
Yeah.
But I've learned already so much from this process of like what it'll take.
Yeah.
So many people like, oh yeah, I've been working on this feature film, just trying to get it made for like
And
7.
and bootstrapping something yourself is just like you said. It takes you that much longer to get something out there. I know a lot of, and when you look at the end of film credit, you see all the people that is involved with putting it together. So just think how much longer it is if you're the only one that's writing, directing, editing, animating.
Right.
You're wearing all the hats, marketing. It just takes a lot. So for sure to at least get you going. So I want to know about you, Casey. How you kind of got, heard about Gainescon. What's your kind of affiliation with filmmaking? Are you an aspiring filmmaker wanting to do this? And what?
So this is my first.
Don't be afraid to,
Yeah,
really
get close.
get close
Get
and
Make sure people can hear
Yep.
me. So this is my first stateside film festival for my short. So Dauntless and the Demigod here. It's a sword fighting fantasy film.
okay.
And I love swords. I've been playing around with swords since about like 15 plus years at this point for film.
Okay.
Theater. And I just didn't see anything out there that I enjoyed as far as sword fights in like a really long time. And I was like, well, why don't I just fill that gap? Especially like everything that I love to watch is all shot and cast in the UK, like Game of Thrones, all the Rings of Power, like all
Yeah.
the Rings stuff. Like I love fantasy. I'm a huge fantasy nerd.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm going to just start making my own stuff here. And something I also really like to do with my film, I wanted to make sword fights that you can see it kind of harken back to like the sword fights of compared it to Princess Bride.
Yeah.
So like longer shots, wider shots, so you can see the action. It's not so much focused on the spectacle of the camera, making the camera
Yeah.
whip hands and everything.
Yeah.
So we tried to make a long form fight. We rehearsed our fight. I thought it was only going to be a minute, and it came out to be like 3 minutes.
Okay.
Which was super fun. But yeah, we rehearsed for at least 12 plus hours over like a course of a week and a half before we shot the fight. And my actress, she did a fantastic job. I actually work at a company in Los Angeles called Swordplay LA.
Oh, okay.
And we
I think
teach-
that sounds familiar. Swordplay LA.
It's been around. I think Swordplay LA has been open for around 30 years. maybe.
Yeah, that it seems like I've heard that somewhere before. Swordplay
Yeah,
LA.
It's Burbank's oldest fencing and sword fighting studio.
Okay. Okay.
And it's a fantastic place. I'm blessed to have found that as a place to work and career. And so I teach other actors and stunt folk how to sword fight and firearms and hand
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so I just decided that I want to make. I'm doing my first short, which is the goal of like using this as the kind of commercial piece, and then I have a feature I want to make.
Gotcha.
Here,
Gotcha.
and just wrote the first draft of that script.
Okay.
I'm gonna rewrite that whole stage.
Oh, that fun time for sure. Coming to Gainescon and meeting the other, directors and creative people. What's kind of the thing that you've taken away that, okay, this is something that was good to learn and good to know more about? What was that one thing or one or two things that is a good nugget that you've taken away from this event?
I think the main thing I've gotten from this is I've been trying to meet as many people as I can, and just the fact, just that sense of community, especially with because like most of the films here are action films.
Yeah.
And just realizing like, oh, we're all going through the same process.
Yeah.
I was like kind of thinking like, how unique is my experience, and coming here and meeting everyone else is like, oh, okay, so it's a good feeling when you hear other people making these action films
Yeah.
coming into the same pitfalls and dilemmas and trying to figure out that same puzzle.
Yeah.
And we just heard Emily speak about how action is its own puzzle box.
Yeah.
You've got your normal drama and your comedy, but like action is a really unique aspect that you also have to figure out, and it's an additional puzzle piece.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so like coming here it feels really special because it feels it's just a great community that I've met, and watching other people's films.
Yeah. Yeah.
And seeing the quality of other people's work, doing the same thing, just trying to make that short film to do whatever they want to do next.
Yeah. Well, and seeing all the various, different creators and what they're doing, even though you said the majority of it was action, and knowing that, this is not only, action, it's sci-fi, it's horror, it's fantasy. Are there other aspects of stories that, you're looking to kind of dive into and kind of sink your teeth into? Like you said, they had an animation film in there. Is that something that you may have thought about when, as possibly a medium for your story, or are you kind of locked in, or your thing, action, swordplay, or horror? I mean, is there other?
Swordplay is definitely one of. So my production company that I need to lock in the legal details of that company.
Yeah.
I always want things to be focused around swords for the current moment being, just
Yeah.
because I love it so much.
Yeah.
But I've never done a horror film. I'm actually helping a friend produce a horror film next month, just a little short.
Mm-hmm.
But my feature that I like to create is actually a pirate horror film.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And so I'm very excited to kind of delve into that world,
Yeah.
that genre. Because I'm an actor and a stunt person, I love live action, so I've never really thought about
Yeah.
animation, but I do love, like, there's certain animes that like the blue-eyed samurai.
Yeah,
That
it's
was
great.
so
Yeah,
good.
yeah. I think,
And they did a cross with that of like they used stunt people to actually make those fights in the
yeah,
show.
yeah. I think they're coming out with season 2 sometime by the end of this year. Because I had one of my guests, she was on the production team for doing some of the animation
Okay.
with Blue Eye Samurai. It's great. And that's what I love about, like I said, there's so many great styles coming out. I think Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was
No,
that
that
thing
looks
that kind of
amazing.
kicked off
Yeah.
just experimenting with so many different stylized looks.
Yeah, I love the look of that. I have not seen those yet. I've heard they're
Oh
great,
man,
but
you
I-
definitely should check it
I
out.
know, I'm late to the game.
It's such a great one. Obviously, the theme and the story of it is great, but the style itself and the way the animation was done is almost a character in and of itself.
Oh yeah,
You
it
know,
looks so much like a comic book.
like a comic book. You're like right in the comic book. You can almost, and obviously you can see the dot pattern of a traditional old style printed comic book. But I love, like I said, seeing how directors or actors kind of take, styles and kind of just play with them to come up with these new versions. I was talking with Guillaume earlier, another a creator that had director that has a film here, and we were talking about just this time as a creator, whether it's a filmmaker, whether it's an animator, or whatever it may be, kind of this level playing field with studios or having these avenues now to put your ideas and your stories out, having all these channels, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Kickstarter if you want to fund it, Indiegogo if you want to. We have all these things, options now as an independent creator to get our idea. And what is your thought? Because it's such a hot topic now. I like to ask creators, what is your thought about AI and how it's impacting how you're thinking about what you're doing moving forward?
Right. I'm very much pro artist.
Yeah.
I feel like, and that's kind of a goal for my future movies. Is I always just want to try. My goal is I want to make the best movie I can with the highest budget, like mainly just to pay other people.
Yeah.
Like that. Thinking of it as almost like. Each movie is its own business, right?
Yeah.
And I want to not only create a piece of entertainment, but also make sure that everyone can pay their bills.
Yeah.
Because I've done so many projects where I did it for free, for the credit, or
Yeah,
just
yeah,
to
yeah.
help out. But it's like at the end of the day, it's like I don't want to be a hobbyist. I want this to be my career.
Yeah, yeah.
And so with AI, there's so many venues where it's now just kind of almost threatening actual jobs.
Yeah.
But I do think it is valuable for people who can, artists that can use it, still have their own job,
Yeah.
not lose anything on their side, but use it to their advantage. Because I
Yeah.
know it's not like, it's nowhere near perfection where it's actually going to be like taking people's jobs at this point.
No.
It's that's that possible
Yeah.
scary future. But
Yeah.
I have seen some people do some really amazing things where they can
Yeah.
put something into like a program and then do additional tweaks of their, using their own skill.
I think, like I said, me, I've had a lot of guests and I have a lot of friends that are on one side of the fence or another. They love it, they hate it, type of thing. I think it's a tool like any other tool, and it can definitely make some tasks a lot, especially those tedious tasks and time-consuming tasks. It can make them so much easier. But like you said, I don't think it's going to take the place of the human emotion and experience and feeling that actual people bring to a project. But I do think it's a genie that's not going back in the bottle.
We can't.
So
yeah,
as a,
the conversation that as a SAG-AFTRA member, that whole conversation like, oh, we're not going to sign this contract if there's no AI. It's like, it's been around.
Yeah,
it's already a year.
yeah. And it was the same way. I think that's the nature of technology. The technology, the prior technology always kind of feels threatening, or the prior way of doing things always kind of feels threatened or a little off-put when something new comes.
Yeah.
Not realizing that it's just a tool to help the artist create in a different way.
Yeah.
I mean, traditional animators were freaking out when 3D came out and computers were starting to be used in animation. But now, as we've seen, it just kind of opens it up to a new way of storytelling and using it. And it definitely doesn't replace the idea of learning the principles behind animating or the principles behind filmmaking or screenwriting. All those principles that go into it, it's not going to take the place of somebody sitting down, oh, I can just write a prompt and have no idea how to structure a movie or how to build characters.
You got to master your craft.
Yeah.
Before you can actually.
Yeah, for sure. Moving forward, what's kind of, you've learned a lot, you've connected a lot with people here, but up to this point, what's been kind of the best piece of advice or the biggest thing you've kind of learned that's helped you along the way so far in just building your craft of filmmaking, swordplay, and all of that?
Just developing that resiliency. For example, I gave up on swordplay for a 5-year stint.
Yeah.
Because I always wanted it to be like a career path where I was either a fight coordinator or a stunt coordinator or instructor in some way.
Yeah.
And then I gave up on myself in that arena for about 5 years, and I moved to LA and I found a studio that did it, and then I stalked my way into a job. And so that in itself was one showing of that, and then crowdfunding my film like every single day. It was the first time I've really focused on crowdfunding.
Yeah.
And that was, I just did it for a 30-day window. It was such a slog, but like every single day I just kept chipping away at it, and I was able to raise more than I thought I would be able to, just with that day in, day out persistency. And I feel like to make a film is like a miracle in itself, So it's like if you don't do it because if you don't love it, you can't have that resiliency. Like, go do something else.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be a nightmare.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta want it.
Yeah. No, I totally agree, because I've said the same thing about just this show and podcasting. People ask me, because I'm in my 4th season of my show.
Congrats.
156 episodes, 4th season. And I've had a lot of people ask me, how do you do it so long? And, how do you just stay motivated? I said, the first thing is you got to love what it is you're doing. Yeah. Otherwise, you're not going to stick with it. Right. And just the fact that I love this industry, I love the industry that I talk about, I love the people that I've been able to make friendships and connections with, is what keeps me going through those down times of getting caught up. Well, do people really watch this? Are the numbers, not getting caught up in the metrics of it, and just doing it for the sheer love of doing it, and because you would love the industry, you love the craft.
Yeah. I think that's the biggest piece of advice, because I met so many people, especially in the acting industry, that want to, like, they move out to LA and they're like, It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen right away. I was that way. I was that way when I was younger a lot. I got my theater degree and thought, I'm like, people are gonna acknowledge me now. I have a piece of paper. No one cares.
And then what do they say? Then the reality of it sinks in, and you're waiting tables, trying to survive while you build your craft and everything.
You gotta find a way to enjoy life while also doing it.
Yeah, for sure. Oh man. Well, so are you originally from California or where?
No, I'm originally from Colorado.
Okay, Colorado.
Moved to Colorado, moved to New York once I got done with my degree.
Okay.
Forced myself over there because I knew if I didn't move over to New York first, I would never get that experience. Because I love theater, but I'm more of a film and TV guy.
Yeah.
So I want to give myself that. And then I lived there for about 3 years, lived in Brooklyn, and then moved back to Colorado. I come from a very small town, like 1,000 people.
Oh wow!
At that time,
My town was small.
So like New York was a shell shock. Then I moved to LA for a second, like 3 months, and I was like, this is still a shell shock. I moved back home. It took a long time for me to gain the confidence and also just like the self-awareness of like, what do I want? And what do I want to do? And then I realized I'm an actor through and through. I've probably worked at like 20 plus positions in my life of doing different things, and I always come back to acting. And now I really love this process of directing. I used to be a scene study coach at a school in Denver, and I found through that process, I'm like, oh, I'm already directing actors by coaching.
Yeah.
Why don't I give directing a try?
Yeah. And I've asked a few of the guests or the directors ahead of you, do they consider themselves actors, directors, directors that are really keen on working with actors well? I'm sure there are some directors that they don't work with actors too well. And then there are some actors that don't handle.
Direction. You need to be more angry, but like that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Angry in what way? Yeah. And so that's why I like it.
Yeah.
Because I get to, even though I'm no longer a scene study coach, I get to use that on set, and I know also from my acting experience of taking acting classes and from my own acting journey, I've developed different techniques of like how to say something to a particular person and get the response that I want. I think it's really fun for me in that way.
Yeah.
Because I also found while I was teaching that not every actor uses the same process, and not every process works the same.
Yeah, with every actor. Yeah.
And so like sometimes you can say one thing, you're like, and you see it in their eyes that like, oh, this guy doesn't get this note. All right, let me switch to this technique. Like, what about this? And
then, like I was saying earlier, there are some actors that are just really great improvisationally, and they can just, run and give you some great stuff. And it's funny because, like I said, I've gotten a much better appreciate, because I do, like, for my job, I do a lot of, like, talking head, corporate, interview style videos. And I've gotten a much better appreciation for multiple takes, just trying to get, out of it what you're looking to get. So I've gotten a much better appreciation for actors and directors and the things they have to go through, for sure. But again, I know there are just some directors that you hear are nightmares to work with because they're just so demanding of their actors, or they want to treat their actors a certain way to get a certain emotion or a feeling. Like they'll tell other actors, well, don't interact with that actor because I want him to feel that isolation. And what was it? I was watching like a commentary or a documentary about Stanley Kubrick and him directing The Shining, and he just broke Shelley Duvall because he, on one scene, I think he did like 120 takes just to frazzle her, and he would tell the other actors to treat her bad. So he was, there's just, obviously, like I said, there's just some directors that they direct a certain way, like I said, and they want to feel like, okay, I got to treat the actor this way, so they get into character and give me the emotion and the scene that I want to get out of it.
I feel like that is because I mean. I don't want to talk about Stanley Kubrick.
I mean,
but, like,
obviously,
like,
he's a great director.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
but like you said,
But I don't think that's necessary. But I feel like maybe that's just like, yeah, I don't know. I have my own personal thoughts. And I'm like, I don't
It's
know
tough.
I don't know if I need to voice those. Right
you know, it's tough because, like you said, you see the end result. I can't imagine putting an actor through something like that myself, and I guess me as an actor, if I was an actor, I wouldn't want to be put through something like that, you know, to feel like that you got to do that or treat me that way to get that emotion. I'm an actor.
It's similar. Did you watch The Bear? It's the food show on Hulu.
Yeah, I've seen it. I don't watch it regularly, but I've seen it.
So one of my earlier jobs, I used to work in a kitchen for like 2 seconds.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the guy who owned the restaurant, I think, had watched too many of those French shows. And he came in, I was like 16, he came in literally shouting at me. I'd never met the guy. And I guess, you know, but that's kind of sometimes what they do in different industries. Like there's those people like, if I slam their head against the wall, they're going to learn to become a better person. Of like, no, that's not, I don't prescribe to that style of,
so it's good that you're not that way. Like I said,
I don't want that on my sons.
I feel like, you know, you trust a person to know their craft and to be good at the craft.
And
so,
I mean, that all comes down to casting, right? Like, you gotta, you can kind of tell. And I cast my short on my own just because of the swordplay element of it. And I still feel like in the down the line, I do want to work with casting directors just to get that knowledge.
Yeah.
But also since I want a lot of my folks to deal with sword fighting, I already know that community. So it's like I want to find that balance of like still being able to use my eye to cast my own actors, but also finding gems.
Yeah.
Like people who are already doing that themselves.
Yeah, I understand. Well, I mean, are you looking to, like I said, expand, kind of getting into the film festival circuit more? And
yeah, I mean, this is just the beginning. I'm going to Gen Con next month, and then going to Austin Action Fest, and then we have about like, as far as the festivals go, about split to about like almost 50. Waiting on kind of almost half of those.
Yeah.
But yeah, so far the reception for Dauntless has been really good.
Awesome.
We premiered in New Zealand, and I love New Zealand. I've been out there once, and I wish I would have gone, but I just don't have the full budget to like try to go to these other festivals and go to New Zealand.
Yeah,
so.
that's always the challenge. You wanna hit them all, but you try and just kind of cherry pick the ones that you feel these are probably the best ones I should attend.
I don't need any more credit cards. no one needs that with the interest rates these days.
But you know the funny thing is, I guess it all comes down to betting on yourself and betting on what it is that you do, whether you're going to take the risk of that. I don't know if you ever seen it, but it's a great film. And he went on to do Robert Townsend directed his first I guess feature full length was Hollywood Shuffle, and it was kind of a parody on how blacks were treated in Hollywood and the roles that they were getting and this and that. It was kind of a comedy parody. It was really funny. You should check it out. But he bankrolled he just maxed out his credit cards and bankrolled it, and it ended up obviously making a lot of money.
His money back?
Yeah, and he obviously propelled his career not only as an actor but a director as well.
Yeah.
So obviously it's a chance you take, whether how you fund it. Obviously back then, there wasn't a Kickstarter or an Indiegogo to
Yeah.
where you could
I
do
mean,
it.
like crowdfunding, what I've heard in general is that like crowdfunding, especially like if you're trying to do a feature,
Yeah.
you're not gonna.
Well,
crowd,
a feature,
sometimes
no.
every once in a while you can crowdfund.
Yeah.
You hear some people getting like hundreds of thousands for their feature, but like those are usually already names.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. I
But you
mean,
can certainly crowdfund easily a short film.
yeah. Well, I think that's pretty much a lot of what the Kickstarter. They're just Kickstarters. They're not like full feature length things. I guess they're like something to pitch to studios as, hey, this is my short idea, where you fund the full feature length, thing.
Right.
I know I think it was Deborah that was talking about it before, or one of the other directors. Kickstarter works really well for like graphic novels, comic books, and things like that. I've seen some filmmakers do that, as far as like, getting maybe $10,000-$20,000 worth of, funding to kind of get that little 2-3 minute short. I had a guest on my show, man, but he was a director, and he did like a sci-fi short with his partner. His partner wrote it, he directed it. Really short, maybe like 3 minutes, but it had a lot of visual effects. So a good portion obviously went into the visual effects that were made for it and stuff, because it was really sci-fi. But they've got a good chunk of it, through Kickstarter to at least, get that short to where they can go around to the film festivals and pitch it and, try and get a studio interested in it.
Right. No, I mean, like, I found a valuable tool because my film, I raised half of my funds through crowdfunding.
Yeah.
And had I not done that, I don't know if I would have taken the risk actually to make my film. To be
Yeah.
honest. Because for my short, I really, going along with that, I wanted to pay actors and stuff. I was like, I'm not going to pay anybody on this set $100. Like it's going to be more than that.
Yeah.
And so like every single person on my set, I really tried to pay, obviously my first short, but with the crowdfunding, I tried to set that bar high enough where I can get enough money, and then I supplemented
Yeah.
the rest, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I fully support crowdfunding.
Yeah.
It's hard though.
Well, that
it's
in and
a
of
hustle.
itself is a lot of work. Because I've seen some people's Kickstarters. Obviously, you got to offer perks to the different levels.
Right.
You got to keep people updated with what's going on, type of thing. So just the whole thing of putting together a Kickstarter and maintaining that is a lot of work in and of itself, outside of just the film or whatever project that you're
I
doing.
feel like it's a good baby version of starting the fundraising process for, or like reaching out to investors for
Yeah.
future
Yeah.
films. 'Cause I learned a lot from that. I'm like, okay, so now I can take these things that I learned from crowdfunding
Yeah.
and go on to
Yeah,
networking
gotcha.
with people with bigger wallets.
Gotcha. Well, tell me, Casey, where can people, connect with you, see more of your work, what you're doing?
Mainly on Instagram, Casey with a C-A-S-E-Y, P as in Paul, and then Lloyd, L-L-O-Y-D.
Okay.
So Casey P. Lloyd is basically my first name, last name with my P in the middle.
And Instagram is kind of your main channel.
Instagram's mainly where I hang
Okay.
out. I have a Facebook, but I'm like hardly on there. And YouTube, haven't really delved into that yet.
Okay.
Most likely, once I'm done with the festival circuit, I'm gonna put my film online somewhere for free. So most likely, probably YouTube.
YouTube. Okay.
And so yeah, if people want to follow me on Instagram, then they can know when Don't Listen to Demigod will be out and it'll be free. Because I didn't want to put it out there, my first short, with a paywall.
Yeah.
I wanted people just to be able to see
See it.
no hustle.
Yeah. Yeah.
hassle.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Awesome. Well, you heard it right here. KCP Lloyd on Instagram. Definitely check out his work. Looking forward to seeing more stuff from you and seeing you at more film festivals and connecting. So it's great connecting with you, Casey.
Connecting with you.
And looking forward to talking with you again.
Yeah, sweet.
Awesome.
I hope, and I'll follow you. Check out.
Yeah, check out my YouTube channel. You know, we're always looking to grow. You can find me at Don Terrell on YouTube. Again, it's not just a show, but I do like, you know, I'm trying to do like tutorials on, you know, educational type stuff on the software that I use. Like I said, I use Blender for my 2D and 3D. I use DaVinci Resolve for my editing. So I like Photoshop, obviously, the Creative Cloud. So I wanted to not only be, a full-fledged creative channel that, you know, educates people on just some of the tools that are out there. I'm a big proponent of a lot of free tools, and that's I think another great thing about this time. There are a lot of great free tools like Blender, like DaVinci
I
Resolve.
write my scripts on, I think it's called Kitsinus? Something, I don't know. It's got a cat. I have cats.
Yeah.
It's a free script writing, so yeah.
And I think people have gotten to this point where, you know, and I think Adobe has kind of led the way on this. They're tired of subscription-based software.
Is like, yeah, of course the company's going to make the most money, but like, how many subscriptions can one person have?
Well, you know, those companies.
Come on now. Like,
unless they're a studio that's got like 20 or 30 people that they have to buy seats for.
right.
It doesn't work for the independent creator, which is why, like I said, you got tools like I said, like Blender, like DaVinci, like Krita. Krita's another great
Krita, I
little.
use Krita.
Yeah, Krita's another great free tool as well. That's what, you know, really helps the independent creator because they can't afford subscription based all the time, especially with, you know, with them going up and up and up like that.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like now is really a great time for creators because there are a lot of tools out there because those companies see that people are really kind of getting tired and done with paying subscription prices and companies getting rich off of them just month in and month out. You know, heck, even Unreal is free to a certain till you start.
Really?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, that's
till
crazy.
you start earning like $1 million at a certain dollar level.
Yeah.
That's when they'll start charging, and I think it's like $1 million, $1.5 million.
Interesting.
But other
So
than
you
that,
can be-
it's
you
free.
Can be a game developer.
You could be a game developer. You could be a filmmaker and using,
Sure.
you know,
Yeah.
as long as your revenue is under a certain dollar amount, it's free.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, and I know a lot of filmmakers are starting to use Unreal now.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
The volumes, the virtual volumes.
yeah, the virtual productions, you know, real time, lighting and rendering and backgrounds and things like that. It's a godsend for those independent creators that just don't have the budget right now to drop on a lot of software. And until they start earning and generating it, you know, it's free, you know. So,
That's awesome.
well, Casey, like I said, I appreciate you, brother, sitting down. Like I said, check out my channel. We'll definitely be following you and connecting with you and looking forward to seeing you at more events like this, brother.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Guys, as you know, like I said, we're snagging as many as we can to sit down and talk with. We're having a great time. The day is progressing on and on. Like I said, they're, you know, premiering. Had to get a sip. Oh man, all this talking is making my mouth dry. And I think I'm going to be doing intermission pretty soon because I got to use the bathroom. I guess that's TYI, too much information. But we're having a great time. Day 2, Gainescon Film Festival. How you doing? Good. People are still coming in. This, like I said, this is a popular place. And a lot of people not only are coming in for the theater, but like I said, they got a great bar area, got a great dining area. And, you know, I'm saying this all the time. I'm so glad I found this place as a spot to come check out, you know, as I come visit more and more. You can dine out, you know, can really grab some great food and just have a great time. Again, I didn't get a chance to because Casey and Deborah sat down. I was going to go out and walk around and kind of show on my iPhone, you know, a little bit of the place as well. Definitely want to try and snag interview with the DJ. She's been spinning some great tunes in the eating area as well. Just as many other interviews and connections as I can make, for sure. I might try and do that after the intermission. I'm trying to see actually what time it is. I'm losing track of the time. It is 3 o'clock. Okay. Yeah, it's 5 after 3. Because I know my computer time is still set on Houston time. And Vegas is 2 hours behind Houston. Vegas is, yeah, Vegas is 2 hours behind Houston because my phone changes time, and that's 5 after 3. Like I said, this is, you know, these expos and conferences are long marathon. Again, I always encourage you, say hello, you know, where you're tuning in from. Even if you stop by for a few minutes, pop in, pop out, you know, before you do, say hey, because I do get to see the comments. I do hear, you know, see when people pop into the show and stuff. But I always want to hear from you and, you know, give you a shout out as well. As you heard from KC, Imre Orun, who, you know, well, I think we definitely spoke with him yesterday, but he came down and earlier today. Oh, wow. You got a little light there. He came down and talked about, you know, just stunt work, and he's a stunt actor and coordinator and a martial artist as well. So he talked about that. But, you know, we had a lot of great conversation. Again, like Dewan had asked earlier, I'm going to try and put as many of the links that's mentioned and resources that are mentioned as possible in the show notes so that you know, people can get the information, because I know people are wanting the information, and we're getting all this stuff so fast and furious, it's hard to keep track of, for sure. So I'm definitely going to try my best to get everything into the show notes when I get them up there, for sure. Maybe a couple of days. But again, like I said, people are kind of, you know, making their way in and enjoying the ambiance and the atmosphere. I'm wondering, I didn't get a chance to see what movie posters. Oh, excuse me. Oh, man, I apologize. I didn't get a chance to see what movies are showing here. I thought I saw Inside Out movie poster downstairs. Like I said, I think as far as the first level goes, they still got a lot of fleshing out and how they're using, because they're not really using that space as anything any one particular thing. So they got it fleshing out to do with that. Most of the stuff, like I said, is up here on the second level where we're at, and maybe even the third level, which I haven't seen. So I'm not really sure what's up on that level as well. I think the marketing coordinator that we had on yesterday was talking about what was up on the third floor, but she said there is a third level. So again, like I said, we're going into hour 2.5 here on this 2-day live event. As you can see behind me, we are down here at Downtown Cinemas in Las Vegas, baby. Las Vegas. I love Las Vegas. And as I've been saying throughout this whole thing, I enjoy coming out to visit and to hang out. It's oppressively hot. I thought Houston was hot. Houston's a humid heat. This is a dry heat, but nonetheless, it's hot. 118 degrees it's been since I've been up here. And that is, man, that's like hot grease. I mean, even though it's a dry, hot grease, it's hot. 118 degrees. But it's been fun. Like I said, I always enjoy coming out to Vegas, and look forward to coming out again. Oh, geez, man, I am just, man, I'm just been yawning left and right. I know I'm going to sleep well tonight after this event is over, for sure. I will be doing Saturdays. We do have a show tomorrow, and looking forward to that. So definitely want you to join me tomorrow, which in hindsight, I'm thinking I probably should have either pre-recorded that episode or just blocked off and not had a episode tomorrow, but I didn't think to do that. And so tomorrow's guest, Infone, and I know I'm hacking her name up, and we're gonna get it right tomorrow, but Infone Eno from Africa will be on. And while I'm thinking about it, let me make sure, her location. I want to say Nigeria. Yeah, Nigeria. Infone Eno, game developer in Unreal Engine. I got to get you guys on here to talk, and talk about, catering and what you're doing. Whenever you got time, I don't know if you're, serving or what you.
We actually want to see the movie.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Okay, well, after the movie, come back out and let's sit down and chit chat, okay?
Is it in here?
It's in here. I think you should see her sitting out, like right in front. I think yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Definitely they're Sabor Caterers. They are one of the sponsors here at Gainescon. Great chef, great food. We're gonna sit down and talk with them. They came in yesterday, day one, and set up when I was setting up as well. But they are I guess you could say private. They're not private, but they come in and cook for you. And so you don't have to worry about being the chef, cleaning up, none of that stuff. They come in, prepare the food, clean up, serve you, and just spoil you with their food and catering. So looking forward to having them come over, talk about their business, talk about being a part of Gainescon, and what they're doing. So they're getting ready to go in, check out one of the shows. I think during the intermission, I'm gonna step in there and kind of check out one of the shows. But I want to try and get up and show you. Let me go to my iPhone scene here. I want to walk around and see and show you the event. Again, the left uh, screen here is, I'm gonna get up, so you're not gonna see me, and you're just gonna see me walking around with the camera. Hopefully, the signal won't go out because it will be connected to Wi-Fi. So I'll try not to venture too far to where, just in case it does go out, I won't know because I won't be able to see the broadcast. As you can see, my setup here. And like I said, I'm right here at the stairs in the elevator as people come in, right next to their photo booth. So, but we're gonna go down this hallway. We're gonna go into the bar area, and I'm gonna show you around a little bit so you can kind of get a feel of the place. So, with that, I am going to turn this microphone over to my iPhone microphone. I don't think it'll be quite as loud and as clear as my laptop mic or my guest pod mic here. But we're going to run with it, and I'm going to get up and kind of show you around the place, okay? All right. As you can see, this, and I won't be able to hear myself either, so I'll just be narrating as I'm walking around. But hopefully, like I said, you'll be able to see what's going on at this venue here as I go. And I won't be in front of my computer to see the comments or anything like that. So if you do comment, I won't know until I come back and sit down. But I do want to show you around the place, show you the venue, what's going on, and kind of just, give you the little 10-cent tour. As you can see, like I said, they got their photo booth, my little setup. It's a nice location. Here is their Island Cafe. It's a great place. The DJ, it looks like the DJ is leaving there, but we didn't get a chance to interview them, but they spun some great music for sure. And like I said, they got a nice eatery place. Like I said, great, venue. Hopefully, like I said, my signal hasn't gone out. And here's their concession stand. Hello, how are you?
I'm great.
What are you?
Making ranch.
Ranch,
For the
okay.
chicken tenders.
Ah.
And the french fries.
Okay,
I
okay.
don't know if you put those on.
Well, some people do. Yeah, some people do.
Jalapenos for the nachos.
Okay, nice. How long have you been working here?
Since February.
Okay.
Valentine's Day, to be exact.
Okay. Are you originally from Las Vegas?
I'm from Florida.
Florida.
Long ways away.
Okay.
And I moved here just skipping from state to state. Texas, New Mexico, Arizona.
Okay,
Out here. I
yeah, we
love
just-
here. I love it here.
Okay, just hopping all across the country here. Okay. I'm
And your
from.
name? What's your name?
My name is Don Terrell. Yeah, I'm kind of streaming I do a live show called The Color of Motion, and I live stream to my YouTube channel, LinkedIn, and Facebook group and stuff. And I interview people of color and diverse backgrounds in motion graphics, animation, visual effects, cartoons. And so I got connected with Barry. He was a guest on my show, and just thought it'd be a cool idea to live stream my show from the
What a better
event.
place than right here.
What a better
in the
place.
heart of the
I
United
love
States
Las
of
Vegas. I mean, I live in Houston,
Gotcha.
but I have family here in Vegas, and I
Very
always
nice.
enjoy coming out and hanging out in
Me too.
Vegas. So,
I love it.
yeah, so,
I'm
We got, oh, thank you. And our next guest here, you know, Sabre Chef.
Sabor.
I keep saying Sabre, Sabor.
Thank you.
Chefs, you know, prepared.
Personal chefs that'll come to your home.
Come
Yes,
to-
we do. We will travel.
Yes, we do.
Okay, you heard that. They will travel. They aren't relegated to Las Vegas. They will travel.
And we bring the chef's table to the person's house.
Awesome. And we're going to have a sit down at my table after the event and talk more, but just wanted to kind of show people a little bit of the space, the event space. This is a great place. I was telling them now that I know that it's here, when I come visit, I know a place to come hang. Yeah, I know how to get here and come hang out and have a good movie, good drink, some
And you don't
food.
have to go to McDonald's. You don't have to go to Wendy's. Don't mention all them. I'm promoting somebody else. I should be promoting you. My bad, my bad.
I'll bleep that out. Yeah.
Okay, what was
Post
it?
production.
McDonald's. What was it from a
McDonald's.
McDonald's.
I'm gonna let you get your popcorn and your food, and we'll be talking a little bit
Yes,
later
absolutely.
for sure. All right. Like I said, this is such a nice event space and a nice location. Hopefully, again, the signal is still going. You will let me know, Maxine. Like I said, they got like they got 8 theaters here in this place. It really looks good, for sure. Might just peek ahead. You know, this is where he's screening, you know, the events. I won't go in there, I'll go in there later during the intermission. But you can see this is a nice place, for sure. They've got 8 theaters on this level. It's not, you know, and they're really small theaters. I think Roxanne, the other concessioner, Quiet Place Day One. You know, Quiet Place that just released with oh man, I can't. Again, a lot of people coming in, coming out, coming to the event, checking out Gainescon and what's going on. You can see the creator, Mr. Barry Gaines, so many others. You know, it's been a great experience. Me, just checking out, people coming to check out the movies and everything that's going on. They've got a balcony section, so you'll have to let me know. Hopefully, I'm gonna see if it's still. Yeah, it is. Okay, it's still showing. So it's showing my feed. You can see all the stuff. There's the DJ. Hearing. This theater. This is the speakeasy thing. Yeah. Speakeasy. Yeah, this is the speakeasy.